Hey guys, welcome back. Wes Arnold here with First Choice Equipment. I'm at the iLandscape Show 2022 here with Executive Director Scott Grams. Scott, thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, I'm honored. Thank you guys for being here. Thanks for being part of our One Fiesta this year at iLandscape 2022.
Just to confirm, these letters are not made out of cake.
They're not, yes.
Right. Yeah. I know you have your pulse on the industry. Obviously, that's why you're the executive director. What are some things you're looking forward to in 2022, like some of the things you might be concerned about in our industry?
Supply line shortages are always going to be a problem. Labor. Anytime outside of pandemics and crushing recessions, labor is always the biggest issue for this industry, trying to get the next generation of young people in, because what's happening is that the landscape industry just continues to grow. You now have a lot of dual parent households where they both are in the workforce, they don't have time to do the landscaping anymore, so they bring in professionals. Obviously the last couple of years with how well the economy has done has really created this boom cycle as well. There's huge amounts of demand and there's not enough people to do the work. And so finding labor saving efficiencies, technologies, equipment, it's so important because you just simply can't find the human bodies, so can we replace those with better efficiencies in the market?
I know when I was working from home, this influx of demand for landscapers and hardscapers, while you're sitting there typing it up and your dogs are freaking out and you're looking outside going, well, I'm working from home more, man, my yard needs a facelift. Is that a big part of it, do you think?
Big time. We saw a lot of that. I mean, of course, those first couple of months of the pandemic, people just kind of all went to their basements. And thankfully, landscape contractors pretty much across the country were deemed essential. And so after that, when people said, staring out their window, working from home, yes, like I've been neglecting this for so long. And so we started to see a big push towards the design build side of the industry. And that really lifted a lot of boats there. And then, one of the challenges, though, of course, with people working from home as well, has been the noise that landscape companies make. And so now we're seeing a bigger push towards some of the quieter electric machines, alternative fuel sources. And so there's definitely some things that we're seeing that, I think some people think landscapers sort of crashed the lives of homeowners, and it's sort of the other way around during the pandemic. Homeowners sort of crashed into our world. And so we're just trying to find ways that we can all live together as more and more professionals will be working from home.
That's a very interesting perspective. I didn't even think about it that way. Can you just tell us a little bit about what you guys do?
Hey, you guys are great supporters of the ILCA. You support a number of our programs, our trade shows, our golf outings, our events. But basically the ILCA is a trade association for landscape professionals. And landscape is a wider term that also would incorporate lawn care, irrigation, lighting, recognize and represent suppliers of the industry who are so important to what landscape professionals do. It's always the balance between the supply side of the industry with the products that you're producing and, of course, the contractors and the professionals who are actually using those products out in the field. So it's a nice marriage, and they kind of come together under the auspices of the ILCA, and we do a number of training programs, educational events, trade shows such as this, and even smaller events, for 50, 75 people on pesticide training, pruning, things like that. So
can you just tell me what are some of the highlights? What are some of the things that we should be looking for other than the nacho cheese fountain?
I want to caution you that is non-potable nacho cheese.
So non-potable, so it's yellow paint.
Yes, just
so
be very, very careful.
Augustus Plume.
Yes, you don't want to get sucked into the nacho cheese fountain. We have to flush
sucked into it. No,
flush
please
you out
don't.
with a ramrod or something later. The show is all about creating an experience, and that's really what the entire show has always been. And so, we could have done a boring pipe and drape show with just little 10x10 booths and cookie cutter, but what we really try to do is match not only the vendor awareness and the vendor presence, but also make it inviting and have annual excitement, have the show change and transition every single year so that the landscape professionals who come have something to look forward to. As I mentioned before, landscaping is tough work. And so we really feel like this is like their 1 week of the year to just kind of unwind. And a lot of them also do push snow. So it's really challenging to try to find the right time of year to do it.
Absolutely.
And we cross our fingers and do our rain and snow dances. When people come to the show, it's not just interacting with vendors from the nursery side, from the equipment side, from the hardscape side, from the softscape side, from the plant side. I mean, it's all over the place in regards to the materials and innovations that they can see at the show.
That's what I was going to say, yeah.
And then also, though, we we try to sort of intersplice it with, top-notch speakers, keynote speakers, entertainment. This is a very musical show. If you went out in the lobby, you saw that we have arcade machines, games, we have raffles.
Yes.
I mean, the whole thing is designed to be interactive. We always said we wanted to design this show so that it wasn't something you were telling your coworker about, it's something you were telling your neighbor about.
I want to also thank Scott ahead of time for exercising social distancing with me before the pandemic. I mean, with no return calls and always trying to avoid me and such.
Yeah, 60 feet, I think, was what the CDC recommended. 60 feet,
it was,
right?
Whatever you
I
were
may have
yelling at me,
misread that.
I understood
Not
it.
a
It was
math
like,
guy.
hey, Wes, keep your distance just in case.
I would
we could have
crack my
a-
window as I drove by.
So what do you see as the future of landscaping?
Well, as I said, I really think that landscaping is another growth cycle, and we're going to see landscape sales. We eclipsed $80 billion a few years ago, and I just see that continue to go up and up nationally. There seems to be demand in sort of every regional pocket of the country, and the Midwest is the largest non-year-round market for landscape services, especially with the Chicagoland area being so strong. And I really think a lot of the things is going to be labor-saving efficiencies, whether that's robotic mowers or it's lighter equipment that you can use. It's skid steers, excavators, anything where you can replace manpower with machine power. And I still think some of the lessons we learned from interacting with people during the pandemic will hold true. There's a lot of time wasted in the landscape industry by having to drive to a client site, walk the site with the client. And a lot of these clients now are just comfortable meeting electronically. And so perhaps you can save a couple of trips over to the client's house by just having a quick Zoom call or using some of the computer design software that we now have in place. And I think that's some of the exciting parts of the industry. By hook or by crook, landscape professionals are becoming a bit more technologically proficient.
Wow. Scott, thank you so much for your time. We're so looking forward to seeing what this event has, and we're happy to be back.
It was my pleasure.
Thank you for your time. Brothers hug.
Absolutely.
Guys,
everyone hugs at the fiesta.
There we go. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our page. And hey, leave a comment and tell us what you might have seen that might be innovative and interesting here at the show. See you next time.
First Choice Equipment. We're not just building your community, we're also part of your community.
That is so unprofessional. It's probably my nanny.
Millennials.